edition of Box Seat. I'm Adam McGrath, and again joined by Ian Lenson. Ian, some competitive racing and a couple of Saturday quality horses going around.
Yeah, this is a really good card actually. Probably some of the better Wednesday races we've had for some time, so I'm really looking forward to getting our opinions on these.
And while we take a look at conditions on the screen now, here's the biggest positive, 31 degrees and sunny, so looking forward to some beautiful weather. A good 3 at the track will be rated, and the rail is out 18 metres with a cutaway in the straight, so perfect conditions for racing in the west.
Yeah, we can leave our sweaters at home. We haven't had these conditions for many, many months, so it will be a shock, but a shock I'm sure we're all welcome.
Race number 1 is over the 1200 metres. It is the West Speed 3-year-old handicap, and again a really competitive field here. We've seen Loopy's Ladies go around, of course, in Saturday Company and be there and abouts. Rhino Buster's certainly knocking on the door. And then there's a few others as well coming out of the trails, like Impassioned with the blinkers going on, which you always have to be wary of.
Yeah, Impassioned from the Grant Williams, Bob Peters, William Pike combination, which is just insatiable at the moment. So it's a good one to watch. But Loopy's Ladies, it has the race form at the moment. It was pretty good last start.
It certainly was. It was beaten by It's Dynamite last start by a length. Let's take a look at that run now.
Tofford led them on the turn for home. Rotana Beach about to be called upon. And Loopy's Ladies also letting down now. On the inside, It's Dynamite has got through quickly and wider out. Daisy Express by the 200. It's Dynamite burst through. Races up now to join Loopy's Lady. It's Dynamite, Loopy's Lady, but it's Dynamite in front. Loopy's Ladies can't do any better. It's Dynamite too good. It's Dynamite beat home.
A strong performance by Loopy's Ladies, but the concern is with me, it's still racing erratically. It hasn't settled down at all this campaign. Clint Johnson Porter to take the ride for the first time. Look, this horse has been mixed up with a few apprentices and they've all seemingly struggled to control this horse. That's not an indictment on the apprentices. I think anyone would struggle at the moment, but it certainly has a lot of talent. Just a few cautions for me.
Tricky barrier as well to try and settle behind some of the runners, which is probably why a little bit of an advantage for Rhino Buster. Was in 9 last time, comes into 7, but now with a little bit more fitness under his belt, I think Rhino Buster can really attack the line.
Yeah, I agree. I think the gear changes now, the blinkers off and the winkers on. It over-raced last start when they went back. They have the options now. I think they can settle rearward or go forward. And I like what I saw last start. The first up run was alongside Dreamtime Dancer as well. I think the form lines are strong.
A horse that trials really well is number 5, the Cobbler. We saw that again in the 2 recent trials. Can it take it to race day form?
Well, that only ever start it's had was actually quite good. I know it started favourite and a short price favourite, but it was beaten by Equity Rules, which is a good horse. Black Cuban was in that race as well as Lord Conrad. So I think this horse can still bring it to race day.
And what about the Grant Williams, William Pike, Bob Peters combination with number 7 Impassioned, the blinkers going on?
Well, it hasn't won a trial yet, so always a bit of queries. But look, I've been duped a few times from this stable. These horses trial plainly, and when they bring it to race day, it's a completely different story. It's the Full to Tranquility, so I'd prefer to have it in my selections.
I will not be fooled this time either. Exactly the same thought process there. Let's take a look at the selections, and I'm going to be tipping number 1, Loopy's Ladies, from number 4, Rhino Buster, number 7, Impassioned, and number 5, the Cobbler.
Yeah, same 4 as you, different order though, with the 4 Rhino Buster on top, from 5 the Cobbler, number 1 Loopy's Ladies, and the 7 Impassioned.
Race number 2 at Belmont Park. It is over the 1,000 metres, and Ian, a pretty tough race to separate for the 3-year-olds.
Yeah, I just had a glance at your selections there. We have gone far and wide here, but as we were just talking about it off air, I think all 9 horses in this race have their credentials to win this race, and some very nice triallers as well.
Well, the replay that we're going to take a look at is Steal the Light. Crossed him with ease last start and then was able to fight at the end, which really impressed trainer Trevor Andrews. Won that by a long head. Let's take a look at that victory now.
Rock in the straight at the 400. On the inside, the leader. Let's Go Disco. Steal the Light. Now Military Rock joins in with Esperanza, Rhino Buster, Idyllic Queen, and here comes Le Patron down the outside. She's been off the track, but she's coming with a run at the 100. Le Patron, Steal the Light, Esperanza the middle. Over on the inside, Steal the Light. On the outside is Le Patron. Steal the Light does a bit better though.
Now I know it's not a beauty contest, Adam, but we saw this horse in the yard and it is striking. It is very small, but there's obviously a lot of fight there, as you mentioned. Drawn the same barrier to compete here, but will also get the benefit of improving second up. But McGruddy has gone with Orbit the Sun. Joe Azzopardi had ridden both Orbit the Sun and Steal the Light, and he's on the 2 bombs away.
This is what threw the questions in for me. Do you back in these jockeys and follow their leads? Because Steal the Light, very impressive, has beaten a very good horse in Le Patron and drops half a kilo as well with Jordan Turner riding. So you can't knock it there, but then you do have to follow the movement as well.
Yeah, it just seems like positives there. And look, McGruddy getting on Orbit the Sun, look, there was a bit of support for it last start. It was caught 3 wide. It looked like it was beaten by a very sharp one. So I think that this can improve a lot, the 5 Orbit the Sun. The 6 Steal the Light can only build. And as I mentioned, the 2 bombs the way. Well, it was the second fastest trial of the day. It was very impressive.
And with Joe Azzopardi going that way, it certainly looks as though it'll be hard to beat. Lindsay Smith training really well at the moment. That stable is flying. What about number 8, Planet 9 here for Neville Parnham? Stephen Parnham's right. Was in the Hot Goods race. Was beaten by 3 lengths by Hot Goods, but I thought it showed a bit of fight, settled well as well, and I thought in this field it could certainly run a race.
Yeah, it is the kind of form line I think we'll look back in, say, 6 months and say that margin from Hot Goods was very impressive. But Sporting Image was alongside it, and it didn't really show up at its next start, but I think there are excuses. This horse can only develop second up.
Number 4, Idyllic Queen, is a horse that has proven that it does like to race second up. Of course, came into the first up run as well without a trial, so I'm expecting big improvement from barrier 2. Jason Brown is going to have plenty of options.
Yeah, I think it has to improve because, in all honesty, it was quite plain in that race, and I'm not banking on that run being the status quo. I think it can certainly develop.
And what about number 9, Total Eclipse again? Grant Williams, William Pipe, Bob Peters, blinkers on.
Yeah, slowest winning trial of the day and was beaten by 3.5 lengths by Bombs Away in the previous trial, but good chance because it's from that stable.
Let's take a look at selections then. I'm going to be tipping number 8, Planet 9, from number 6, Still the Light, number 4, Idyllic Queen, and number 1, Military Rock.
I'm 2, Bombs Away on top from 5, Orbit the Sun, number 9, Total Eclipse, and the 6, Still the Light.
Race number 3 at Belmont Park. It is over the 1,700 metres, and Ian, again, we do see some really good horses in this race, and we mentioned in the preview some Saturday horses the like of Battle Ace, Van Ripper, Flying Force as well, and others have been in some really good form.
Yeah, it is a nice race, but I think everyone will be having their pens circling the 3 Van Ripper. Its last start was outstanding. Look, there were a few horses around the same grade alongside it, but this horse is one that is developing and on the rise, and its late finish was outstanding. But it will be back in the field, and there will be a horse at the front called Sandpipers who's racing very well at the moment.
It certainly is, and was the last start winner, Sandpipers, won by a long head over Assets and Cash, which is also in this field. So do make sure you take a look at both of those. Let's take a look at the replay now.
Andy in the straight, Sanctitude leads by 1. On the outside is Sandpapers. Assets and Cash put under pressure. Secondment joined in quickly on the inside. The director couldn't go with Secondment. Tries to get to the outside, and then came Quintessence running on. Now it's Assets and Cash. Sandpapers fighting back. Secondment peaked on the run. The director flashes late. Sandpapers in front of Assets and Cash. It's a double to Kersley, and Sandpapers.
Yeah, super tough on-speed galloper. Really is rejuvenated in the Fred Kersley stable. What I liked about the last start victory is the director was third. It won a Saturday race at its next start, so must be paid respect.
What about Assets and Cash then that finished in second in that run?
Oh, I don't know. Look, it's always thereabouts, and you can't really deny it. Does pick up that slight weight advantage and has drawn well. And Peter Nucky actually has a really good record on this horse. I think they're much the same.
You mentioned Van Ripper. It will be the short price favourite, and it does look very hard to beat on paper.
Yeah, I just have a bit of concerns about where it will be in the run, given the speed in the race. But look, the way it's been finishing off, Lucy Warwick worked into it 3 wide the start before and really won well. So they have that up their sleeve, and it probably is the one to beat.
Flying Force has been second up 3 times. It's placed on 2 occasions, and we saw last campaign really good form over this type of distance. Sean O'Donnell to ride from barrier 2. There's a lot of positives.
Yeah, that's the key for me, is this distance. Last start it was well beaten by Van Ripper. Well, not well beaten, it was only under 3 lengths. So there is development to come here. Has only placed once at the track though, but I think Flying Force is the big improver.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for race number 3. I'm going to be tipping number 3, Van Ripper, from number 4, Flying Force, number 1, Sandpipers, and number 5, Assets and Cash.
I'm 3, Van Ripper, from the 4, Flying Force, number 7, Rare Selection, and number 1, Sandpipers.
Race number 4 at Belmont Park. It is over the 2,200 metres with the perthracing.com.au handicap. And an interesting field here. Ian, Top of the Wazzo, a horse that goes around plenty of times but doesn't quite find the line. Shotgun's got some good form, and then Adam Durant will be playing a pretty strong hand in the race as well.
Yeah, look, the Durant horses are coming from absolute inferior form lines. There's no doubt about that, but they are progressive and they appear to be improving with every start. Look, Becca's stepping up to the distance is a positive, and Starry Dane certainly one that showed a bit last start, but they dead heated in the previous start, and it was a fantastic race. So I guess it's hard to choose which one you want.
Well, that is the race that we're going to take a look at now. Take a look down the outside. Both of Durant's runners attacking the line strongly, and as Ian said, a dead heat.
The 400, Brandy Blitz went to the lead. On the outside, not a way to go. Little Sincero's rider trying to angle between them now. Only ample room to put its head in for the moment. The gap closing, can't quite get through. Top Deal joined in, so did Starry Dane. Becca's coming down the outside, 150 to go. On the outside, Starry Dane, and now 7 Terraces bursting through. It's 7 Terraces and Starry Dane with Becca's. They went to the line. Golly, there's a close go.
Yeah, brilliant performance by both of those horses. Now, Starry Dane has had the start in between and the experience at this distance now, and also picks up 3 kilograms for Beckers. And although Beckers is being ridden by William Pike, I'm pretty keen to have the 2 Starry Dane on top. I just think it has that edge.
I think that's the way you have to go out of the 2 Durand runners. Agree there. What about Top of the Wazza? This horse, as we said, 22 starts, has had the 7 places, only 1 victory. But again, you go through the form lines with Star Bay, Top Show, Dancing Express, and the horse can compete with the best.
Yeah, it certainly can, but it is up in weight now, 58.5 kilograms, which is a lot more than it's carried in the past few starts. It doesn't have a lot of experience at this distance, but it's the kind of horse that if it wins, you would just absolutely concede that it was one of the better gallopers in the race.
Number 5, Shotgun. We see Darren McAuliffe and Jordan Turner teeing up. Of course, they had a win on Saturday with Military Ruler. This horse just got shuffled back too far last start on a slow track over the 2100 metres. Attacked the line strongly and got 3rd, and I thought if it can sit closer from barrier 6, it'll be pretty hard to beat.
Yeah, probably is the one coming from the better form lines, proven and racing very well at the moment. Nicely weighted, and just those form lines through the Ladies' Choice, it was great in the weekend. A good hope.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for the 2200 metre event. And I'm going to be tipping number 5, Shotgun. From number 3, Top of the Wazza. Number 13, In Heat Over Gets a Run. And number 12, Baby Baby.
You're all up the top for me with the 2 Starry Dane on top from 5 Shotgun, number 1 Beckers, and the 3 Top of the Wazza.